All right, so before we get into the system and how it all works, let's take a quick look at God's track record with comebacks, okay? And then let's talk about what not to do. Because if you're like most men who have lost their way, there's three huge mistakes you're probably making. And you may not realize it right now, but those mistakes are actually destroying any chance you have of achieving your comeback, okay? But first, God's track record with comebacks. Job, double his original wealth after total loss of health, wealth, and family. Joseph, from slave to prime minister and world saver. David, from refugee to king and author of Psalms, the most inspiring book of all time. Peter, from betrayer, failure to pillar of the church. Paul, from murderer to apostle, and arguably the greatest Christian that ever lived. Okay. Every major biblical figure faced catastrophic setback before their greatest victory, including Jesus Christ. Okay? That's specifically whose shoes you are walking in right this moment. I don't know if you've ever thought about that or not. Jesus is the ultimate comeback king. He's the comeback king of comeback kings. You see, here's what no one ever tells you. Your first success is merely preparation for your ultimate comeback challenge, for your midlife wall. The first half of your life is the training ground for your second half. Now, that being said, your greatest victory isn't in your past, so stop living there. It's in your comeback. It's right now. Now, that's exciting just to think about, isn't it? You with me so far? All right, moving right along. Three huge mistakes you probably make. Let's look at all three of these right now. Mistake number one, relying solely on willpower. This is a big deal. The first mistake is relying solely on willpower. It's a temporary band-aid at best. It doesn't actually exist in the first place, and at worst, and it doesn't address the real problem no matter what. It drains your energy and leaves you feeling defeated when you inevitably falter, and it creates a false sense of progress produced by that same self that got you here in the first place and that leads to burnout. Now, here's why this is dumb. Relying solely on willpower will lead you directly to a life of ongoing struggle and dissatisfaction. It is the world's solution to an inherently spiritual problem. Now, here's the bottom line. Here's the truth. There is a better way to achieve your comeback without the constant struggle of willpower alone. And I'm going to talk about what that looks like in just a minute. Mistake number two, following generic advice and what used to work for you. The second mistake I see people make is following generic advice and what used to work for them. Now, look, you might be thinking that this is a good idea because everyone else seems to be doing it, including yourself. But it is actually a recipe for disaster. And here's why. It can lead you down a path that feels inauthentic and disconnected from your true self. A true self, mind you, who you are just now getting to know, whether you know it or not. It often results in frustration and lack of results. It doesn't consider your unique circumstances, challenges, and most importantly, seasons. Have you ever heard that saying, what got you out of Egypt won't get you into the promised land? Well, there's a really significant truth to that. There are a different set of rules that apply during a man's second half of life. You may as well be like in another dimension than what you were when you achieved success previously. It's like a different planet. Now, not knowing this is a recipe for almost literal insanity. Nothing will make sense if you don't get this. Almost no one gets this. And almost everyone is insane. Trying to follow generic and outdated Success 101 advice, which is all basically 99% of the personal development, self-help, success stuff you see online. It's Success 101, man. It doesn't apply to you anymore. That's why it's not working. Trying to follow it will only deepen your sense of isolation, frustration, low self-esteem, because it seems like it's working for other people, but not you. Impotence even, perplexion, and despair. Aren't you tired of feeling like that, man? Like, I'm assuming you'd prefer to feel something closer to how you felt originally when you're on top of the world. Yes? Here's the bottom line. What you need to do instead is to embrace a personalized approach suitable for the new you. And I'll both explain what I mean by that and walk you through how to do it in just a second. Mistake number 3, ignoring the importance of community. The third mistake that I see is ignoring the importance of community. Now, this self-made man approach is prideful, it's outdated, and it turns otherwise productive strategies into temporary band-aids that fix symptoms without addressing the root causes. Ignoring community will leave you feeling isolated, drained, and disconnected, making your struggle even harder, unbearable even. Listen, man, you're not alone in this, okay? Even though the voice in your head is doing its best to convince you otherwise, you are not. That voice, that freaking voice, that voice will tell you every lie. That voice will tell you that no one understands, that your struggles aren't as valid as someone else's, or they're so much worse, which they're not, that you should have it figured out by now. I'm not pulling any punches, man. I'm telling you how it is. Whether you like it or not, it's really kind of irrelevant to me. I'm here to tell you the truth, man. That voice will tell you to white knuckle your way through, to keep quiet, to carry the burden alone, because you need to be strong enough, because you're so powerful. Listen to me very carefully. That is a lie. Do you understand? A lie. That will keep you stuck. That lie will keep you stuck. You feel stuck, correct? It will keep you stuck for eternity. What you need to do instead is to engage with a supportive, like-minded community. You need to humble yourself and engage with a supportive, like-minded community that understands your journey and allows you to thrive without the burden of going it alone. And listen, man, I'm talking to myself right now. I had to do all this stuff. I'm as antisocial as it gets, man. And if I've attracted you into my experience and your experience, like if I'm just mirroring you, that's all. There's a very good chance that you have some degree of social anxiety, that you do not like being in crowds of people, that you would prefer to be alone than anything. All right, well, that works until it doesn't, man. At some point, it's got to change. And here's the bottom line. All these strategies are outdated, they're ineffective, and downright destructive to your journey. All right, so if that stuff doesn't work, then what does, right? That brings me to the system that I mentioned earlier. Let me walk you through it right now.